Do you think that Brady could actually outlast Belichick?
Molly, it's starting to look that way.
Right?
And let me say this: when Pop starts talking like that in the media and on the radio, you know it's real. You know that there's that competitive fire
It's
where
personal.
Brady wants to make sure that he leaves no doubt that he's the one that was more responsible for the success that they had out in New England. But yeah, with Tom Brady and looking at this Buccaneers team, they're set up to have success for the next 3 or 4 years. Most folks move to Florida to retire. Tom Brady moves down there to win championships. I know that Bruce Arians hates the fact that people say we're going to run it back, but this team is going to have a chance to be able to run it back. So I don't think there's going to be any question about between Belichick and Brady who's going to have more success in the twilight of their careers. It's Tom Brady. When we look at Bill Belichick, people got to realize that he's also on the back nine of his career, too. I mean, the oldest coaches to ever coach in an NFL game as a head coach, 72, 73 years old. Bill Belichick is 69. So, the end is close for him as well. So if I had to bet on who's going to have more success over the next 3 or 4 years, I would bet on Tom Brady. I think there's a chance that he outlasts Bill Belichick.
Well, if you phrase the question, is it possible, I have to acknowledge it's possible that Tom Brady outlasts him, which seemed ridiculous a year ago to me, let alone 2 or 3 years ago. Ridiculous. Because your physical qualities go faster than you think your mental acuity, right? Like you'd be able to hold on to that a little later. And a 69, 70-year-old guy versus a 44-year-old athlete in tackle football. But I have to admit, it's possible. Like, for example, if the Patriots win 6 or 7 games this year, Robert Kraft may look at Bill Belichick and be like, timeout. You chased off Tom Brady, especially if they go on to have great success, win another Super Bowl, get to another Super Bowl. You chased them off, and we haven't had a winning season in 2 years. Maybe Kraft at that point says, we need a new GM. You stay coach, and maybe Belichick can't accept that. Like, there are scenarios I can see where that can happen. If I were a betting man, I'd still bet on Belichick. Just because I can't put anything past Brady anymore, but understand, every single time he takes the ball as still a great player, every time he does it, he's breaking his old record by 1 game. And he's so far out ahead of anyone who ever lived in terms of longevity that he's breaking the last guy's record, say Warren Moon, by an embarrassing amount, right? One day he's going to be out of gas. And if I were a betting man, I'd have to say, can a guy keep coaching? Can he stay on the sidelines for another 3, 4, 5 years? Even? Yeah, I can see that before I can see a guy playing tackle football into his late 40s. But I got to admit, I can't rule it out. Brady's made it so I can't rule it out.
Yeah, their general manager, Jason Licht, went out earlier this week and said, yeah, if Tom Brady wants to play till he's 50, he can do that here. Now, we both agree that that's not going to happen. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have shown they're going to give Tom Brady as much runway as he wants. They're going to give him as much leeway as he wants. They've essentially turned their organization over to him and asked him, what do you need in order to have success? They gave it to him, and they won a championship in year 1, and they brought everybody back to give it another crack and see if they can do it again. So, yeah, I'm betting on Tom Brady until shown otherwise. And with Bill Belichick, it remains to be seen whether or not he's going to be able to get that program turned around without Tom Brady.
I want to ask you guys both a question about Bill Belichick, because there were some concerns, I think, after the whole Malcolm Butler situation, and now we're kind of seeing this new fun-loving Brady where he's talking junk in social media, his dad. That was never the way with New England. I guess I'll start with you here, Max, but do you think there could be a scenario with a Bill Belichick where he needs to evolve for this younger generation? I know Mac Jones is an Alabama guy, Saban similar to Belichick, but for the rest of the team.
Yeah, of course. It sounds ridiculous again, but a lot of Belichick's thing is managing the media, right? And he got that from way back, from the Parcells days, right? But back then, the media was limited to the professional media. And even though it seemed when I was a kid there were a lot of outlets, right? There weren't that many compared to today, when literally billions of people have media accounts, social media accounts. Things have changed, and maybe the way Belichick perceives players should interact with the media, maybe that he has to make some adjustments. You can't just rule that out either.
Max, I don't think there's any question that he's got to make some adjustments. And Tom Brady is proof that you can do it another way and still have success. Players are more concerned now than ever about their individual brand, being able to push stuff out on social media. Bill Belichick is going to have to allow some latitude if he's going to continue to get players to buy into his
Tom
program.
Coughlin, remember they had that leadership. I
was on the
You're
leadership.
right. Okay, there you go. Wait, you were on the leadership in 11?
I was on the leadership council.
Okay, so tell me.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Tom Coughlin is from that Belichick-Parcells tree, and they don't like players talking to the media.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.